Hello everybody, made it onto the water today for something a little bit different. I'm going to try and demonstrate technique on the water.
I made this video a while ago to help Yamsquad athletes that I coach remotely understand a little bit better when I talk about squaring the blade, preparation of the blade, and spacing off the water. They got loads from it, so I thought why not post it to YouTube. Hopefully you get something from it as well. Let me know in the comments below what you think I should coach next.
The angle is quite high, so the camera's flopping around. The conditions aren't fantastic. The rain has started, but I do want to hopefully show you guys you could see from this angle. So I've been speaking about how the catch itself is super important and the entry of the blade. So when this is the catch, we watch this blade, the backsplash of the blade is important, and how you prepare the blade is important, because if you don't get it right, you're not going to be able to apply the power that you can apply with the legs and the hip. So what I want to do is the idea of a backsplash. So if you're, see that splash goes back to the bow, you can only do that if your hands are traveling forward or traveling away from towards the start line, away from the finish line. The blade's going backwards. So that's step one. We want to look for that backsplash, and we can only do that if we're sort of traveling forward with the handle. We also can't do that if the blade isn't square. So we want the blade to be square, obviously, by the time we catch. But if we square the blade super late and put the blade in just as it's square, what happens is the preparation becomes a lot different. So if we square late, and I'm not saying that I want you to really early square here or here, I'm saying if you square maybe around about the feet area rather than right before the catch. If you square late, it means that the chances that you've not got enough space off the water are high. So therefore you have to push the blade down, and then to get the blade in the water, you have to lift the blade up and then row it in, or the chances of you rowing it in are super high. What I mean by rowing it in is you're coming forward to put the blade in, rather than that idea of going backward with the blade. So how do we get that better catch? Then we want to square a little bit earlier before the blade's in, before the blade gets to the catch. So if I think square catch, square catch, and we can hit the water, that's fine, square catch. And if you look at my blade, square catch, it should be square catch. When it's squaring and catching, there's not a change in height, because it's already prepared to get into the water. What happens if you square late and not create the space off the water? I'll try and demonstrate. So we're on the water, blade up and down. Very across the water, blade up and down. And what happens if you look at my shoulders, I want to lift the shoulders. Hopefully this angle shows that, rather than if a square catch, look how much flatter the shoulders are. Catch, square catch. And it means that when I'm pushing away, I'm going legs, hips, rather than if I delay the square. See if I can do that again. I'm going back, a little bit of legs, back, a little bit of legs, and not a lot of hips. So I'm using my hips early to pull the blade into the water, which is bad. We want to just square early, catch, push the legs. Square early, catch, push the legs. And if you look at the backsplash, it's not huge. I'm not looking for like a big sort of something like that. I'm not looking for massive, make everyone soaked. I'm looking for just a little bit of backwards, so the momentum of the blade. If you look, square catch, you can hear it as well, square catch. And for a drill, you can try, instead of squaring around the feet like this, square catch, we square earlier. So squaring at the knees, which is more difficult. Square, square. And what that does is it forces you to make that space way earlier rather than hoping that the space is there later in the drive. Again, if we do make that space earlier, it means it's easier for us to prepare for the catch. So I would really like you to try, when we do get to the technical work on the easy days, we square and we catch. Square before the catch and then we catch. On the technical focus days, try to square that little bit earlier. So if you can do it before the feet, that's great. If you can do it just after the knees, that's great. I almost like to think about it when the arms are unraveling after the finish, or here to here. When the arms get straight, that's when you can think about squaring the blade. It's an extension of the arm, so when the arms get to that straight position, the blades just roll square. And the last point, if you look at how I'm squaring, you can look at the blades themselves and my hands. So it's not a slow moving. I'm not squaring, I'm not taking my time like this. I'm not slowing down, it's just a flick. And you can hear it. If you look at the gates, the sleeves are square. So you want the blade to go from one side of the square to the other when you go from feather to square. And once you get sort of halfway around that turn on the sleeve, the blade will do the rest of it for you. It'll do the rest of the square. So it's not a super controlled the whole time process, but it is relaxed. So it's just all of a sudden flick, 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 catch, flick, catch, flick, catch. And as you can tell, there's a couple of strokes where I'm a bit wobbly. I might not quite get it right, but that's okay. We're not looking for perfection. We're not looking for 100% strokes that are exactly what we want, because conditions change, things happen in a race. We just want to make the strokes better. So if we can go square, catch, square, catch more than before, that's going to be better. Okay, so hopefully that does help. Just going to finish up my session here under the water.